It's interesting because my entry into hospitality was a little bit by chance. And what I mean by that, I didn't follow a traditional track by attending hospitality school, and I grew up in the United States. But my parents were both small business owners. So in a way, hospitality was part of my upbringing, as I, growing up, have great memories of working in my mom or my dad's restaurants. So that commitment and kind of focus on service is something that's always been part of our household. I actually was working in a very different industry prior to hospitality. I was in sales, working in commercial real estate. And again, by chance, it's because my father acquired a very small, modest hotel, which was his last business before his retirement. And he had asked if I would be interested in helping him run it. So really, by a leap of faith, it's something that I decided to do, maybe against my better judgment, to work with my dad. But fast forward 25 years later, it's probably the best decision that I actually made. So after working with my father for a number of years, I really decided that this was my calling, and if I wanted to continue on in hospitality, I should really align myself with the best brands that are out there. And just at the time, I was quite lucky because many of my university friends were living in Chicago, Illinois, great city. And it was just a year before the Peninsula Chicago was about to open. And one thing led to another. I applied there, and I started my journey in my career with Peninsula Hotels as the overnight manager in 2001. This property is quite special and unique, particularly in this market. Often we're compared to some of our neighbors and competitors, fine other luxury hotel brands. Our hotel is quite unique because we're really the only luxury freestanding hotel. So if you notice this magnificent view behind you, behind us, we're nestled in between the district of Ginza and Marunouchi, and in front of us is the Imperial Gardens and the Palace. So that is a promise and a guarantee that our view will never be obstructed. And very typical of a Peninsula hotel. Often we're asked why we are or are not in certain markets. We absolutely want to be in the premier, most preeminent location, and often that takes time to find. But we're very fortunate that in Tokyo that we found this location where we've been since 2007. One way that we found how to do that is to utilize a chat system that we call PenChat, which is a very, very simple, basic, easy, familiar way for our guests to communicate with us through messaging systems that they probably already use, such as Facebook Messenger, WhatsApp, iMessage. And yet it's really at their convenience, on their terms, to be able to reach out to us day or night. Not only as an employee, but as a traveler, I've used it myself. And it's really a way that kind of symbolizes how we can adapt new ways of connecting with our customers, but doing it in a very Peninsula, discreet way. So we recently adopted a different approach, really to simplify and put the focus on our employees. And the new, instead of having technical standards, what we've done is we've adopted something called Peninsula Service Principles, which are basically a guiding set of principles on how we want to interact with each other, with our customers, with the main goal of really engaging and leaving a lasting impression. So in my 21 years, that's a very big departure, but it also goes to show that we want the individuality of our employees to really come through and shine through when we interact with our guests. And those are the memories and the impressions that the guests talk about when they leave a Peninsula hotel. And when you're talking amongst your circle of friends or family, it's not only the the hotel in itself or the experience, But typically there are some staff members that you will remember, from your journey to one of our destinations. Japan is quite unique because you've got the aspect of harmony and majority. And if you combine that with a certain level of acceptance, maybe you want to say compliance or restraint, it makes for a very powerful combination. I remember when I first moved to Japan, the concept of recycling. In some countries it is an ambition, whereas here it's really more of a way of life that's a practice. And when you have a whole nation that is doing that, you can obviously achieve some amazing results.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much. It's been my pleasure.